Hello everyone, welcome to Star English. I'm your host, Steven. 여러분, 스타 잉글리시와 함께 영어 공부 잘하고 있죠? 혹시 하루 아침에 영어의 도사 되겠다 이런 생각하시는 분이 있습니까? 그럴 땐 이런 말을 기억하세요. If you run after two hares, you catch neither. 두 마리 토끼를 줬다가 둘 다 못 잡는다. 이런 말이 있죠. 영어의 공부에는 너무 욕심내시지 말고 하나씩, 한 단계씩 도전하시기 바랍니다. 저희 스타 잉글리시가 여러분의 친절한 길잡이가 되어드리겠습니다. Okay, here we go! And now it's time for a little trivia. 여러분, 음악 용어 중에 소나타란 말이 아시죠? 아마 모르는 분이 없을 겁니다. 그렇다면 한국 전통 음악에서 소나타에 해당하는 말은 무엇일까요? 모르겠다고요? 네, 바로 산조입니다. 아시죠? 네, good. Everybody, today, when you think of sanjo, when you think of sonata, what is the first thing that comes to your mind in traditional Korean music? Of course, 가야금, right? And today, we have one of the most famous 가야금 performers who is a foreigner in the world. We're going to meet Jocelyn Clark, who is a great traditional Korean music performer. Let's go meet her. Hello, Jocelyn.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
So, very interesting background you have, Jocelyn. I think most people are not going to know about what you have done to get to Star English, but you've done some very interesting things with your life. Give us a little bit of your background, please.
Well, I grew up in Juneau, Alaska. Most people haven't heard of that, but it's the capital city of Alaska. A small town around 30,000 that you cannot get to by car. We have no roads.
No.
You have to either take the airplane or take a boat.
You can only fly into Juneau, Alaska? You can't drive to Juneau, Alaska?
When the weather's good, you can fly. We have a weather problem in Juneau.
Okay.
That they're often complaining about in other parts of Alaska.
Okay. Wow.
So I grew up there, and I grew up playing Western music, piano and violin, clarinet, and oboe. I played in the symphony there when I was in high school. And when I graduated from high school in Alaska, I moved to Japan as an exchange student and went to an extra year of high school.
Okay, so right after high school, you went as an exchange student. Had you entered a normal university yet, a regular university?
No, I didn't want to go to university.
Really?
I was burned out from my high school. I know
really?
that America has a reputation of having a very lax high school education system, but ours was not that lax.
Dr. Clark didn't want to go to college. Really, Dr. Clark? Okay. So you didn't want to go, but you figured, I'll go to Japan.
Just go somewhere. And
what made you want to go to Japan?
Well, I didn't really want to go to Japan, actually. I had grown up, both my grandfathers had fought in the war in the Pacific, fighting against the Japanese. And my father's father had been in Japan during the occupation.
So your grandfather was stationed in Japan.
And my father went to junior high school in Japan.
Okay, so because your grandfather was stationed there, your father was in Japan as a student.
Right. Actually, it's a little bit interesting story. My father had gone to grade school in Alaska in the 40s, And at that time, Alaska was considered a foreign country. So when the Korean War broke out,
Alaska wasn't an American state yet at that point.
No, we only became a state in 1959. So we just turned 50 last year.
Okay.
And so my family was evacuated from Alaska when the Korean War broke out because they weren't sure what was going to happen, you know, in the foreign countries like Alaska.
Okay.
And they were taken back to Washington, D.C., and then later stationed in Japan. So my father went to junior high school in Japan and high school in Hawaii and then Alabama, and always wanted to go back to Alaska, so we went back to Alaska and started working for a Japanese company. So as a kid, I had gone back and forth to Japan a few times, Taiwan, Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
Not that much, but
right.
You know, Asia was the familiar for me. I wanted to go to Europe.
More than most people in the 70s and 80s, right? I
Yes.
mean, I certainly didn't have any trips to Asia when I was young, but you, at a very young age, got to experience Asia.
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
but enough to make it seem familiar enough that I wanted to go someplace else for my exchange year. But I had studied 4 years of Japanese in high school, and the exchange program I went with, you didn't get to choose your own destination, and they sent me to Japan.
Really? But as an exchange student, you have to be entered into an American university, don't you?
I wasn't in
for
university.
exchange?
Wasn't in
You were
university.
in
I went with a
university.
program called ICYE, which in the West is called International Christian Youth Exchange. But being as though Japanese isn't at all Christian, it's called International Cultural Youth Exchange. And that was set up originally between Germany and America after the war to, you know, increase cultural understanding and love between nations.
Improve
blah, blah, blah.
relationships, sure.
So there was 20 students, all from different countries, except for there was 2 of us from Alaska. And in Japan, if you're under 18, you have to go to high school. Most of the other students were sent to do volunteer work and work for, you know, various what we call in America 501c3 type, you know, what do you call those? Non-profit
organizations, yes.
NGO kind of.
And you're going
They were
to high
older, and I got sent to the country. Everybody else was in Tokyo. I got sent to the countryside because I was the only one who spoke a little Japanese. So I lived in the rice fields and rode my bike to school every day and went to Japanese high school, and I learned abacus and
the abacus. There's a disappearing
wonderful.
art, isn't
It's
it?
a wonderful.
Really?
I never understood math before I learned the
abacus. How do you say abacus in Korean? You know that word?
계산기.
그러니까
옛날 계산기.
Yeah, the thing that you do this all the